So this was our 4 hour time frame last week. Uh, we drew this trend line from this time frame. This that was the upper trend line I was talking about. This.
Mm.
Oh. So last week, let me just put a horizontal. I mean a vertical line. This is where last week began
Okay.
to the current chart. So last week, our highs and lows of the week were marked, and we found that these two candles were the first and second. But
Mm. Mm.
now these two candles were highs and lows of the week, and this bullish candle is the one that what confirmed that the whole week could be bullish. So we didn't.
Bullish, yeah.
Sorry about that. So we didn't actually trade on Monday because we don't actually trade on Monday because we believe Monday is for seeing where the market movement and plan for the week. So
Mm.
let me remove this. So we, after realizing that our market was bullish, there was a trend line coming from the monthly time frame. That's exactly what you asked me about. There's a trend line coming from the monthly time frame, and it came something. It was something like this. I think around.
Mm.
So we expected the market to reverse from around there. I think it was coming like.
That was from the monthly.
Yes, I don't know if you remember.
And you had talked about that in a YouTube video.
Yes, I talked about
Those
the YouTube video.
yeah,
Let me try
you
to
had where you said if it reaches there, the equation might change.
draw exactly what was. I think it was like this. Because we took
Yeah,
it was
something.
running. Yeah. Let me just try to reduce the lines on the chart. Shall try to remember some of the trend lines which appeared there. So our first trade of the week came in this. I'm trying to zoom out. Be crazy. I've disconnected my mouse.
Okay.
So this was the Tuesday trade. Now the reason why we took this trade was that as a trend line. Now this is what I was telling you in the previous video session we have had. We take this
Mm.
as a zone. Now imagine someone's take profit was on this psychological level and price didn't even reach there. You see this? It didn't even reach there. But
Mm.
it just came and stopped on this trend line, gave us that M pattern. Now these are already two confluences. Then plus this, those are three. Then we expected an engulfing around
Mm.
here. Now I'm going to record for another video looking at the candlestick patterns because you told me you didn't know the weak rejections and all that. So
Mm.
now the reason, now let me tell you what happened on Monday. I have someone else who took this buy. You see from this point here,
Mm.
and that's them why it took
Mm.
the buy, and the person was like, now you see this gap. This is what we call a gap. This space.
Mm. Mm.
The market always
Mm.
fills that gap. If
Mm.
it happens,
Mm.
expect the market to push back and fill it.
To
So
fill it up.
yeah, so the person said this was his W pattern. This was his W pattern. So this was the second leg of it. The reason he bought this market is there's this psychological level and there's this high and lows
Mm.
of the week. That gave him already two. Then this was the third confluence. And he says, I don't know what's wrong with my network. I pray it's stable. And it says, you're still getting me. I still I still
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I'm getting. Hello?
So, and it
Hello?
says,
Yes, I'm still here.
and it says that was enough for him to take the buy. That was enough for him
Mm,
to take that buy. So he bought and made some good pips. And his take profit was on this psychological level right there. That's why I got out from the trade.
mm,
So as the reason
mm,
why we sold on this other day was we had another trend line running from I think down here. My telegram is on another computer, so I won't be sharing. I would have showed you that.
okay.
I think I also sent you that setup. I don't know if I sent it. I'm not so sure.
I think so.
But we had the trend line. I'm not sure I remember. I think it was running from here up to around here. Yes, this was the trend line. Now you see how this trend line is dynamic. This was its first
Mm,
touch since it's the first point of the week. This was its first touch, then the second touch. So when it broke this, now remember in the previous
mm.
session when I told you wait for it to retest this zone.
To be test somewhere. Mm,
Yes, so we sold this market. We sold this market. I think this was 32.8 level, 38.2. No, it didn't reach.
I remember the 38 point something. Yeah.
It didn't reach
And you did the placement basing on the tall
fib.
candle, the tall green candle.
Now, now you see how this was. This was our take profit exactly on another psychological level. This one
Mm, 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 mm.
before the market started buying again. Let me try to see if I can pull that back. Yes, before the market started buying again. Now, the reason why I don't know even why we were looking for sales that week, and that thing costed us on the last day. Remember on Friday when we had
Yeah.
two losing setups. Our
Mm.
what we learned is our trade of the week was supposed to be bullish, but we mostly took sell trades. I think we
We took
only
sales too many times.
yes,
Mm.
and we even forgot about the bias of the week, which was supposed to be bullish. Now, when I was back testing the
Bullish.
market, I saw this. I saw this pull up, this push, then a pull back, then again a push,
Mm.
then here it broke back in. It didn't give us it broke this level. So most people would get faked out from around here. They would think the break has happened. So but it pulled back to this psychological level. Then that's when it would have given us that
Mm.
nice buy, which we missed actually expected price
Mm.
to reach here. But let's analyze slowly. We're going to get there in a bit. So we took so many cells.
Mm.
Now this cell, now let me explain the nice trade we took on that other day. Was it Wednesday? Yes. So after taking this profits, now the New York session opened and took us back here. Now the reason why we sold from here, I remember you asked me. This was news. This was news that evening.
Mm.
This was news.
Yeah. 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 It came
Now
around maybe
it was
3:30
nine.
like that.
It was 9. It was no, it was in the evening. It came the news was from around 5 p.m. No, it wasn't news.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a movement. It came from around 5 p.m. to around 8 p.m. because we saw
Yeah.
this market. I wasn't on the laptop, but I remember we sold this. Now, the reason why we sold it, and the next day you asked me the confluence, was
Mm.
this the market had overbought. That's why would you be
Mm.
looking for buys and you're saying it has over moved up and it's not even giving us pullbacks to collect liquidity or more buy orders. Now, the reason why the market
Mm.
moves in such a format is because it has to always come back and check in more buy orders. Investors keep pumping in mind. That's why always this other leg which pushes up is always longer because there is more money pumped from around this level. Now I'll show you how to trade the double tops and double bottoms minus being faked out. That's why I remember, was it last week, but one where it was an M pattern, then it pushed up a little bit and created a wick and did this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, so I'll just show you briefly. So it formed an M. So the next day you came and asked me why we took this sell from this zone, the confluence we used.
Mm,
So now it's
mm,
confirmed to us that this market had overbought from this level to this level, from that level to that level, to that.
mm,
In fact, it bounced off a psychological level. That's why we sold this market and took profit from around here. It was around here, 32.8. Now, I'll show you
mm,
how Fib, you asked me to make a video about Fibs. I'll show you.
mm,
So the reason why we sold from here, the question you asked me was the market was selling. Now, you know that thing where it forms a new trade in the 15 minutes. Now, this was just like a pullback. It kept consolidating. But in its consolidation, it gave us a
mm,
nice M pattern, if you can see it.
mm, mm,
It gave us a nice M pattern, and this is like the 32. I think this is when it reached the 61.8, but it was too tiny.
mm,
We call this trade, let me see. Yes. Now we took a minor trend. Now this is like a selling trend from here to here. So when it pulled back,
mm,
it kept playing around the 38.2. Now when it immediately touched the 61.8, now this was the
mm.
confluence. I think it's psychological level. That's one.
Yes, I can see that one.
Now
Mm,
some people call this resistance and support. That is two. This was
mm,
like a support level. Now three is the fib zone. It's the fib zone. Now remember there's a small trend line drawn around here. So this was like that.
mm,
Now it faked out some people. Now let me add them for you together. Before
mm,
you say this is a buy setup, or price has broken this trend line. For it to become a buy, it has to the
mm,
market has to first break previous resistance levels, which turn into support and shoot up. But that did
mm,
happen. Market rejected and engulfed.
mm,
Let me remove this so that I explain. Hey, not that. Let me remove this. Now, market engulfed this candle. There's a candle there. Market engulfed it. Created a wick.
mm,
And another thing, it showed that momentum was done. After this huge red candle, it was followed by small
mm,
candles, which showed that liquid momentum is done. Then we saw
mm,
that engulfing back in and we sold this market. So those are the confluences you asked about and you told me to explain them again.
mm, mm, mm,
Yeah, so this, if we were to take that buy, we had to see a break of this resistance, but we didn't see that break.
mm,
Price was just closing around then. It shut down. We made some good money from that. Now, I have another person who asked me when market reached here, when I said, yes, let's take
mhm,
profit, it was around here, this zone. So the
mm,
person asked me, why don't we take this buy? Because we are saying this was a resistance. This was like a resistance. So, and he saw the
mhm,
projections, the one, two, three, followed by that engulfing. I was like, why don't you take the buy? I told him, no, this is already too much sell. It's too much sell. So the market was around here when he asked me. So I told him, draw your fib. Now the fib works in all the a trending market. Draw your fib from this level
okay.
to this level. I'll make a video separate. So I told him, don't take the buy. It's still a sell, but it's just pulling back. So I told him it can pull
mm,
back to this level and give us a good sell, or it can pull back to any fib level. So market
mm,
didn't even reach the 60. If we had reached the 61.8, we'd sell it again because we'd be seeing this zone. Let me just draw the rectangle. This zone, which would give us three conferences: the psychological level. Let me remove this.
mhm,
Psychological level, trend line, for which this trend line is now invalid.
mhm,
But on a bigger time frame, it can be a week. Like I think the 4 hour, it can be a nice.
mhm,
So it would give us three conferences to
mhm,
take that sale, but it just stopped on the 32.8 level. Now I want to show you where the target was. Now, after this pullback, sample entered for sales. And guess what? Take profit would be on this, I say in this negative 27.
yeah, yeah,
Now this was would be another take profit. But I'll break it down slowly.
mm,
Shall move slowly, slowly. Let's move on to the last trade. That gave us that we missed. Now in that morning, we called for a buy from around here. Let me draw a trend line.
mhm,
Now we first called for a buy from here. Then we lost it.
mhm,
Actually, we
mhm,
didn't lose it. I told guys to close it from here. I drew the charts then I sent to the Telegram group that market will break it
mhm,
and come back to this area and then buy. Now this
mhm,
didn't happen because I wasn't on the chart. I remember I wasn't on the chart. Price just rallied around. Now if you pull up a small fib, you'll see that that's the 61.8 level, and there's a trend line. You remember in the previous session we're from drawing some trend line which passed around here.
mhm,
Yeah. So there's that W pattern. This was like a zone for us, but we didn't take that trade. We missed too much, too many pips. I felt that loss. I felt that
mm,
loss.
yeah, yeah,
So now to the losses we made. This was Friday.
mm,
The market faked us. There's some trend line. Let me try to draw it. I think it was
mm,
from here. Yes, this was the trend line.
mm.
So we tried selling from here.
So, yeah, and it clearly broke, but it went back, broke
Broke.
the trend line, but again,
We expected to fairy test here so that it gives us
mm,
that nice sell, but it rallied back. We were really faked out with this quick rejection. That was the fake out.
mm,
But we expect price. Okay, now back to this week. We're going to use Monday to see the market. If we get a nice opportunity, we shall buy or sell. But it's a bullish market. So you may expect some
mm,
pullback. Let me I'm going to delete these things. There's so many.
mm,
We may expect some nice pullback. Let me try to. I don't want to remove all drawings because the psychological levels are many, and putting them back is a
mm,
problem. Putting them back requires a lot of time. I've had these lines for I think a year now. These blue lines,
mm.
and I've never removed them. They're always there. I don't adjust. If I adjust like
The psychological levels.
yes, but
I've,
some
I've, I've learned that I've learned that in trading view you can lock them.
yeah, you can lock them, but if you change the computer, there's the way they are erased. Sometimes I tend to
Yeah,
use my other
yeah.
computer for analysis. So now you see how they react. It's always those psychological levels are very strong. Look at this strong zone, strong zone, but you don't trade it alone. Strong zone, never trade
Mm,
it alone. You have to just add it there.
mm,
But you know where they develop from, right?
mhm,
Now take this example. You go to bargain for a shirt. The shirt is 20,000. You can't say 20,590.
mm,
You say either 15 or 18,000. Now, banks also look at that. Banks look at that. They look at, remember, they look at big numbers. So they can't mind about the small zeros. So we also look at that.
some round figures.
Yeah, round figures. So what do you expect for next week? Let me just do a simple analysis. Now, this is the trend line we are talking about from the daily. It's here running.
Mm,
First touch, second
mm,
touch, third touch. Now, the reason why I told you the fourth touch is always weak, but
mm,
we expect price to show us what have I removed? Let me try. Since it's a bullish week, I mean it's a bullish market.
mm,
Let me remove this last one. It's a bullish market. We expect a pullback in, then a continuation. Where will it pull back to? That's when we pull up a Fibonacci level, retracement tool from here to here. Then
oh, yeah.
it
Mm,
can either come back to this 38.2 or the 61, but it won't move directly as straight. It will keep forming small. So,
yeah.
so it can come back and find it around here. So we expect a pullback. Let me remove this. So we expect a major pullback. Now you've known how we draw this ranging market.
Mm,
So it can either be this zone, and if it comes back to this zone, it will be a nice one. Since we have a strong resistance which turned to support when it was broken. Now you can see that it even did a
mm,
retest here, but still engulfed it and continued. So
mm,
we still expect buys, but we may have kind of a sell then buy. So, but our strategy will show us what will happen
mm,
on Monday, tomorrow. But we
mm,
expect a
mm,
pullback. Oh, the market can continue and form a gap, a huge gap to this level,
mm, mm,
come back and fill the
mm,
gap, and continue to go lower, then buy. So we still expect buys,
mm,
but the bias can change. The bias can
mm.
change. It
Okay.
depends. Yeah. So let me try to see now. I think the fib
Mm-hmm.
it only works in a ranging market. Now here I didn't pull back to 61.8 because we had another confluence here.
That's strong line. Yeah.
Yes, but I'll make a separate video. It only works in a trending market. Now the reason why I use it in a 15-minute time frame is we get the small setups which get us quick pips. Quick pips.
Mm,
Yeah. So that's what we that's how we do it. So we shall see bias tomorrow and shall update. So there's a trend line I'm missing
mm,
around here. I think around there. Now, have you seen confluence already
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
around this zone?
Yeah. You're building up.
Yeah, that's how you build it. But never jump into the market. Just wait to come for it to come to your zone. Then you look for those confluences in your zone. Then that's when you take up.
Mm,
So we shall look at risk management. So you have any
it's
questions?
okay.
Say
No, not at the moment. Let me. You saved it. You recorded it.
yes, I think.
I'll rewatch it tomorrow. Maybe after rewatching, I'll have a question or two.
All right. Okay. Have a nice day. Evening.
Same to you. Good evening.
Evening.